It's 3 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling. Your phone is face down. Your mind is racing. You tell yourself something is wrong with you. But the real answer is far stranger. Your ancestors were awake right now, too. Not because they were broken, because this is what a human brain was built to do. For most of the last century, you were taught that healthy sleep means 8 hours, straight through, lights out to sunrise. If you woke in the night, that was a failure, a disorder, something to medicate away. But that idea is almost embarrassingly new. It was manufactured, and it doesn't match how your species actually slept for most of its existence. Go back before electric light, before street lamps, before screens, before the modern bedroom. Historian A. Roger E. Kirch spent over 16 years combing through diaries, court records, and medical texts from pre-industrial Europe. What he found rewrote what you think you know about the night. People didn't sleep in one long block. They slept in two. The first sleep began shortly after dusk. Then, deep in the night, people simply woke up. Not from insomnia, not from stress. They woke because that's what the night was structured to do. This waking period lasted an hour, sometimes two. People called it the watch. During the watch, they prayed, they talked, they had sex, they visited neighbors. Some read by candlelight. Then, calmly, they drifted into a second sleep that carried them to morning. Think about that. An entire continent for centuries treated the middle of the night as a normal, useful part of being human. Not a malfunction. A feature. So why did that disappear? Because light did. Gas lamps, then electric bulbs, pushed bedtime later and later. The night stopped being dark and empty. It became something you could fill. Factories needed workers on fixed shifts. Clocks needed obedience. Somewhere in that shift, a full, unbroken block of sleep stopped being one option among several. It became the only acceptable version. Anything else got a label. A disorder. A problem to fix. But your body never got the memo. Sleep researcher Jerome Siegel wanted to know what sleep actually looked like before electricity existed anywhere near it. So he studied 3 remote groups still living without artificial light. The Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, the Tsimane of Bolivia. No clocks, no bulbs, no screens. What he found surprised almost everyone, including him. These groups didn't sleep in 2 neat blocks like E. Kirch's Europeans. They slept in short, flexible stretches, waking briefly throughout the night without any panic about it. And here's the detail that matters most. Almost none of them reported insomnia. Not one had a word for it in their language. The very concept, lying awake at night feeling broken, barely existed. Waking at night wasn't the problem. Believing it was a problem, that was new. Why would evolution build a brain that interrupts its own rest? Because for nearly all of human history, an unbroken 8 hours in pitch darkness was a luxury your ancestors could not afford. A predator moving nearby, a fire burning low, a child stirring. Someone needed to be at least partially alert, on and off, through the night. Deep, continuous, defenseless sleep was a risk. A lighter, segmented sleep was survival. This is where anthropologist Carol Worthman's research becomes essential. She spent years studying sleep across dozens of cultures, from small-scale foraging societies to industrialized cities, and found something your biology textbook never mentioned. Human sleep architecture is flexible by design. It adapts to safety, temperature, social proximity, and light exposure. There is no single natural pattern hardwired into you. There's a range. And the 8-hour solo block in a private room, silent and dark, might be one of the least natural versions in that range, historically speaking. So when you wake at 3 a.m., heart just slightly elevated, mind unusually clear, you're not failing at rest. You're running software that's been tested for roughly 200,000 years. Here's where it gets stranger. That middle-of-the-night waking wasn't just tolerated by your ancestors, it may have been useful. Some researchers now suspect the watch period functioned as a kind of quiet cognitive workspace, not fully awake, not fully dreaming, a liminal state, ideas surfacing without the noise of the day pressing on them. There's a reason so many artists, writers, and scientists describe their best insights arriving in those strange, dark, half-awake hours. You may be tapping into a mental state your species used for problem-solving long before anyone called it a disorder. Now think about your own night. You wake at 3 a.m. Instead of lying still and calm, you reach for your phone. Blue light floods your eyes. Your brain, which evolved to treat darkness as a signal to stay drowsy, suddenly gets a signal that looks like sunrise. Cortisol rises. Your heart rate climbs a little. What should have been a brief, peaceful watch turns into 20 minutes of scrolling, followed by real anxiety about being awake at all. The waking wasn't the problem. The panic about the waking was. Your ancestors didn't fight the watch. They didn't reach for anything. They simply let it happen, did something quiet, and returned to sleep without judging themselves for being conscious in the dark. That's the part modern life took away, not the waking itself. The permission to wake without alarm. Is your insomnia actually insomnia? Or is it a 200,000-year-old rhythm being punished by a 100-year-old expectation? There's no need to force your body back into a single unbroken block, and there's no need to panic when it doesn't cooperate. The next time you open your eyes in the dark and the house is silent, you're not glitching. You are echoing something your ancestors did nightly, calmly, for as long as there have been humans to do it. So tonight, when you wake at 3 a.m., you might flip on your phone again. Light will flood your eyes and you won't think twice about it. But maybe, just maybe, the real answer is far stranger than something is wrong with you. Maybe you should simply lie in the dark a while. Let your mind wander like the humans before you did, and trust that the watch was never something to fear.